You got to win, man. You got to get in there because this is an insanity. We are being poisoned. We're being imprisoned. Our free speech is being taken away because we have done the one thing our founding fathers said, which is never let this government be owned by industry.
I'm here with Bigtree. Thank you for coming, Del. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, quick, can we just jump right into your new movie here?
An Inconvenientstudy.com, you can watch the film for free. It's already, I think it's well over 30 million views worldwide, and that's just what we can track. At the heart of it, it's about a study. It's an inconvenient study. It's a study that I challenged the head of infectious disease at Henry Ford Health, which is one of our biggest research institutes in America. Head of infectious disease, a guy named Dr. Marcus Zervos. I met him in 2016. Someone said, would you like to have dinner with him? And of course, my whole issue is on the safety of vaccines, and I wanted to debate him about it. And he sat down at that dinner in 2016, and to my surprise, he said, Del, I watched your film Vaxxed, which was the film I was traveling with then. And he's like, it's very compelling, but you keep saying something, as I watch these YouTube videos about you, you're saying something all over the country that I found very disturbing. You keep saying that they've never done the proper science to establish that the vaccines are safe. He says, I'm in virology, I take issue with that, and so I sit in the biggest databases in the world. And he said to me, so I went and looked into my databases so I could show you the evidence, and he said, I'm shocked that I have to sit across from you and tell you you're right. We've never done the safety science, never done placebo trials on any of the childhood vaccines. This is now getting a lot of traction. Robert Kennedy Jr. is bringing this to light. It's a huge problem. We've skipped this gold standard of safety testing. But anyway, he said to me, but I don't know. I'm still pro-vaccine. I don't know what I can do for you. I said, well, look, if vaccines are so great, and since we have no way of knowing if they're safe, the only way now we can determine that is why don't you do a study that compares vaccinated children to completely unvaccinated children? And so he said, yeah, I'll do that. And I was shocked because I've been asking for that. And so has this movement, this medical freedom movement for years. He ended up doing the study. It took till about 2020 to get the study finished, and then he refused to publish it. And I found that very upsetting. I said, whatever you find, publish it. It's a study of 18,000 children. 2,000 of them are unvaccinated. It's the most robust study of its kind. It's been done before. And so I ended up being frustrated. He wouldn't publish it, so I asked him if he'd go to dinner, and I wore hidden cameras and took in recording equipment and asked him why he's not publishing it. And you can see online, we can watch the film, but it's a very disturbing, that part of the film where we actually see him in his own voice expressing it's a good study, it's an important study. Certainly the vaccine program is a problem. I can't believe what we're seeing here. But why are you not going to publish it? Because I'll lose my job, I'll lose my career, I'll be finished. And that's the world we live in. We live in this, we think we're in a free country here in America. We think we have rights to free speech, but just like any oppressive government, our own scientists can't speak their truth anymore. They can't do a study. If the study doesn't fit Pharma, and what Pharma wants the world to believe, and remember, Pharma is the most powerful lobby in Washington. It's outspending oil and gas 2-to-1. Pharma owns our television. It's outspending every other, advertiser. It's between 50 to 70% of all advertising. So we're living in a bubble that has been built by Pharma. And, Pharma has its place. There are drugs that, you need when you're in an accident, things like that. But it's gotten out of control, and this study ends up showing you're 2.5 times more likely to have a chronic disease if you've been vaccinated compared to if you're not vaccinated.
Unvaccinated.
6 times the rate of neurodevelopmental disorders amongst the vaccinated. It's a horrific study. I want to say it's not published. Henry Ford has sent a cease and desist letter. They don't want this story out there, but this movie's, as I said, it's sweeping the world. It's really igniting a scientific debate, and that's what needs to happen here. We need to be able to ask the question, hey, are vaccines safe? If you didn't determine they were safe with the proper science to begin with, how do we know they're safe now? What we do know is our kids are the sickest we've ever seen them. More than 50% have chronic disease. That's up from 12% in the 1980s. That's the greatest decline in human health that's ever been recorded. So no one can jump up and down and say, look how great our program is, look how great our doctors are, look how great our pediatricians are. We have more babies die on the first day of life than every other industrialized nation. Sickest kids, sickest generation we've ever seen. So that's what Robert Kennedy Jr. represents. I was his director of communications when he ran for president. There's a movement, it's a giant movement it's all about children's health now. And that's what this is all about.
When I'm in Congress, how will I be able to help push that forward?
So look, I mean, Congress is the one that passed the law that took away liability from the vaccine manufacturers. In 1986, the vaccine manufacturers, Pharma, blackmailed Ronald Reagan and said, we're not going to make vaccines. We're going to stop making all vaccines unless you protect us from liability. He hated the idea. It's the end of the free market. There's no product like it. And think about all the lawsuits that Pharma has against drugs, Fen-Phen, Vioxx. What are they being accused of? They're being accused of lying about the safety of these products. And then when you sue them, you find out in court, discovery that there's internal emails. Oh yeah, they knew Vioxx caused heart attacks. They knew that Oxycontin was incredibly addictive and is leading to 60 to 100,000 deaths every year. They knew that talcum powder, Johnson & Johnson, a baby company, was poisoning our children with talcum powder that they knew had asbestos in it. Well, these vaccines, when we see every study that shows those that aren't getting the vaccines are so much healthier than those that are, we want to be able to sue. And by the way, who knows if they certainly could make a better vaccine, a safer product, but there's no market pressure. It's the only product like it where we cannot sue the manufacturers. We can't get to the truth. We can't force them. They don't have to do safety studies because they have absolutely no liability. So if we could get people in Congress to say, look, this is the United States of America. The free market is the pinnacle principle of how capitalism works, how a democracy works, how a republic works, and it is out of balance. And so who's it out of balance with? The most powerful lobby. What do you think? They're getting what they want. They're buying our politicians. They're going to buy your opponent. They're going to pay for your opponent to run so that they can have them under their thumb, so that they continue to force even more and more vaccines, more and more drugs. We're the most drug nation. We're using more drugs than everyone else. 1 in 4 kids is leaving elementary school on a drug they're going to be, on the rest of their life. They're giving antidepressants to infants. So you got to win, man. You got to get in there because this is an insanity. We are being poisoned. We're being imprisoned. Our free speech is being taken away because we have done the one thing our founding fathers said, which is never let this government be owned by industry.
Thanks, Del. When I'm there, I will be outspoken, I promise you. And thank you, sir.
You bet.
Thank you.